Slow, marhaba, merhaba, hello, and welcome to Kirkuk Talks podcast, the podcast that is not only locally but also globally. Today, my guest is like a friend of mine, but I also brought him because of the efforts for his job and what he's doing, like made me choose him and pick him for being a guest in Kirkuk Talks. His name, he will talk about this, and he will also talk about the journeys that he's been through and all the importances that he saw, for example, in his life. So yeah, Ahmed Alsaleh, welcome.
Thank you so much, Anas.
So who is Ahmed Alsaleh? Okay. I do know you, but people don't.
Ahmed Alsaleh is a young leader that he is originally from Salah ad-Din, and my mother from Mosul. I live in Kirkuk since 2012.
Okay.
I feel that Kirkuk is a part of my heart, and
your hometown?
Yeah, it's my hometown.
Sure.
I look forward to make the Kirkuki people knows that volunteering and serving the community, this community of this city, needs more from our young leaders to have success stories, to have a very good environment for our young children in the future.
Good. So in which field are you so that you can, for example, bring these things towards Kirkuk?
Well, I started working with NGOs, with local NGOs since 2015, after ISIS took out the cities of Mosul, Salah ad-Din, and Anbar and Diyala. The first day that ISIS came in and the IDPs came to Kirkuk, I felt that I need to help these people. Then I went to serve these communities with some of my friends. We served the IDPs. We made a very good volunteering stuff with the people of Kirkuk to serve these people who came from the war of ISIS.
So you gathered together with your friends and started like working on, I don't know, a volunteering thing to help the society?
Yeah, I started in 2015 with a volunteer team called Being Human. I established, this is the first volunteer team that I established with some of my colleagues. We were studying in the same place. I talked to them, they liked the idea, then we started to collect money, collect clothes and give it to the IDPs.
Funds in general?
Yeah.
Good.
Then in 2017, I worked with local NGOs. Then I worked with the social cohesion program with UNDP. Then I end up as a translator with the UN headquarters office in New York.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. So you talked about the NGOs. For example, first off, what was the impact for you, for example, to work with the NGOs? Like, what did you see? What was this inspiration, for example?
Well, as I told you before, because I felt that I need to serve the community, I want to give back to the society, to the Kirkuki society. The needings, and also I think that serving the community, one of the good behaviors of humans. So when you serve your community, you will feel happy. When you give away from your heart, and it's for free, you will be very, very satisfied with yourself.
Sure. Exactly. So was there what was this help NGO gave specifically? Like, was it just like the needings, or for example the organizations, what was, for example, making I don't know, the people go after them, following the NGOs?
The NGOs, I'm sure 100% they are serving the community, and the people, when they see NGOs now, they feel the people who works with NGOs always that they do have very good certificates in college, and they do have more knowledge.
A good education.
Yeah, a good education. And also the people who works with NGOs and volunteer teams, I think that they always think in the same way about achieving serving to the community and to give back to the community without any fear of doing something. So
you mentioned fear. Of course, you are like thinking about it. So there must be a challenge, right? What were the challenges that you faced during this, work and stuff?
Well, when I started working as a volunteer team, then I end up with the local NGO. Then I go with the social cohesion program. I was thinking about when I should go and work with the UN. This is the fear of, there's steps in this journey of the job. I started as a volunteer, then I worked with local NGO.
You had a goal.
I had a goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. The goal was like to be a UN staff. I always remember that. Like, we had a fund from the UN, and we had a meeting. I was working with a local NGO, and the staff of the UN came with their cars and UNs and. Like,
it was different.
It was different. Like, this is my first time that I had a meeting with foreigners, and they are UN. So
it was like something. UN.
When I had the meeting, I was thinking about with myself, like inside my head, like when Ahmed is going to be like with them.
Can I be them? Is like the question. Yeah.
So the challenge is when you see more success stories in your journey, and when you see good positions, good NGO that you want to be with, this is the challenge, I think.
Yeah.
And sometimes the challenge, it depends on the cases that you face. Like when you see families, some of their family members like got killed or something, this is something emotional. So you need to control your emotions. So sometimes you can see like a very young child, like he's crying, and you know that his father got killed, and
so the things that you see, like the visions of, for example, what you see made you also face these challenges, or
which part?
Like, for example, the pupil, I mean the fathers and the parents that got killed and stuff, and you wanted to focus on these things, right? So what was the challenge here, for example, helping?
Well, the challenge is to make this kid is happy. It's a very big challenge. Like when you see some of the young children, like they lost their fathers or mothers, you need to make them happy. And when you see the smile on their faces, like you will be happy.
Exactly.
You will.
Good. So as you saw, for example, the foreigners of UN, and that was the inspiration for you to, for example, to start or work on everything to work with them. But once you started working with them, or once you started like making the researches about the United Nations, what are the beneficial things the United Nations has or are doing or has done for this country?
Well, since 2003, the United Nations missions started working in Iraq. After 2003, the United Nations have made a very good success stories in their journey. Until now, they are working here. They started with helping the refugees from the other countries that they are inside Iraq, and also when we faced the ISIS problem in 2014, the United Nations made a very, very huge success about helping the IDPs in Kurdistan region, also in Baghdad. We made, you can see when you search on social media, you can see that the UN has helped Iraq in different ways, on social cohesion, on having cash for work jobs for the young people. Also, they are paying money for reconstruction for the buildings that got bombed by ISIS or something.
Got demolated, for example.
Yeah,
bombed. Yeah. Good. So, for example, these were the inspirations that you took, for example, from the UN. Why are, though, for example, local people in Iraq, they are not having like a good vision towards the UN? For example, the citizens, when you talk about UN, they'll say, "Oh, come on, they are not doing anything," right? Why are they thinking like that then? Although there are helps.
If you are in touch with the UN, you will get the idea. There's different UN agencies working under the United Nations name. There is UNDP, UNAMI, UNICEF, UNFPA, and each UNESCO, and like
all
there's a huge
exactly.
But when you go deep inside the idea of the UN, you will understand what's UN mean. Like UNDP, it means helping the people that face the problem, then they pass the problem. UNHCR helping the people who are refugees from other countries in Iraq. UNICEF is helping the schools.
Like different type of categories.
Yeah. If you are working as a teacher or schools or something, you will know that UNICEF had made a very good success stories in the schools. And if you go to UNDP, the same. If you go to UNAMI, they are helping to facilitate the political issues in Iraq in general, and also especially in Kirkuk. We do also have sometimes issues, and the UNAMI facilitates these issues.
So it is like the idea that they have is like way different to the idea people have here? Is it like, for example?
Because the people are not in touch, I think. Yeah, I think that.
And how can, for example, then we get the good idea of them?
You can follow the social media platforms of the UN. They do
by the researchers then?
You can search on the websites. You can just search on Google. You can search on social media. They do have every single NGO or UN agency working in Iraq. You can just search about it, and you can see the efforts, the jobs that they are offering, and also the projects what they have done and what they are working on.
Good. So in the field that you are in, you are satisfied, for example, and I know you, so you are happy in your field, and I'm happy for you that you are happy.
Thank you.
But how can you, for example, I don't know, be an inspiration for others to also who want to come into this field? Because probably a lot of people are trying to be in this field, but I don't know, they don't know what to do and what the challenges are and what they have to face, right? So it's like, can you give them an help for them, like to join it, or
join the UN?
Probably, or any your field.
Well, I think we didn't mention my job. I work as a translator.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
I think. I don't know if
we have mentioned, but slightly.
Yeah. I applied for UN 30 times.
Wow.
30 times. I got rejected.
30 times. 3 and 0.
3 and 0. Yeah. When I got rejected, I was like, the next time that when I apply, I think, no, I will not apply anymore. The 31 I got accepted. Now I'm working as a translator with the UN headquarters office. Like one of my friends who worked with UN, like he told me, Ahmed, there is a job offer in New York City and you have to apply. I said, no, I will not apply. He said, no.
Because of the rejections?
Yeah, you got 30 rejections. Then he said, go and apply. I think you will get it.
Yeah.
Then when I applied, and so the idea, the thing that I want to tell the people about. Continue.
Yeah.
Apply more than 30 times. Yeah. Apply more than 30 times. And
was this like a memorable achievement that you've done?
In my job?
Yeah. In your career?
Well, I do have a lot of memories about my job.
Then talk a lot. For example, what was like this memorable achievement that you've reached?
Well, I think one of the projects that I worked on, it was about food baskets in Iraq, and especially in Kirkuk, for the people who are in need. When I see the people are happy with the food baskets, it was something touches my heart and makes me happy when I see the families taking the food basket and they are smiling because they get it. Like, you know that you feel you made a difference in these people's days.
You felt an empty stomach in this case.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this is making everyone good. So this was like your for example, memorable achievement, or are there any?
Well, I think when I got the email that Ahmed, you got accepted for the UN, it was another story. When I got it, it was 12 o'clock. You know, my supervisor in New York, like we are at night and they are in the morning.
It's like different. Sure.
It was 12 o'clock here, so I got there, Ahmed. You got accepted, and you got accepted for the job. Like, I was, seriously, are you kidding me? Then I just go and checked it again and again. Like, are you sure?
Your name.
Yeah, it's my name. Yeah. So it was something that I will always remember when I got accepted for the job. Yes.
Good. So your journey by getting the acceptance, okay, and then going to New York City. What was your first vision in the city?
Oh my God. Well, to be honest, it was my dream to be in New York City. And you can imagine, it's your dream city and you got accepted.
You have seen it probably only in Home Alone, the movie.
Right? And you can see it on Instagram Reels.
Exactly.
That's it. So I was talking to myself like, are you serious? I'm in JFK in John Kennedy Airport. Like, yeah, I am here.
Okay.
Then I got accepted in the same city.
Yeah.
It was something very, very unique for me, and New York City was one of the best cities that I have ever seen and to be.
So,
I went to different countries, but
where was it like the best location for you? Do you remember?
In New York?
Yeah.
Well,
Times Square?
Times Square and the United Nations office,
because
it's one of my dreams to be
exactly.
there.
So in the office.
When I just came into the office, I go and take a picture, like
every angle.
I post everything about the United Nations office.
That's actually you should do this because it is like something you have achieved. Good. So let's talk about like the journey. Okay, how are you with traveling?
I love traveling.
You love traveling?
I always have the idea of, Ahmed, you should go at least 2 countries per year.
Really?
Yeah.
What was like one country that you really loved?
The United States.
United States?
Yep.
Also NYC?
Well, there's a difference between the United States and the other countries. The United States, each state have their own culture, their own people, their own ideas, their own
time,
even the time. There is a difference between the time between California and New York.
Wow. Yeah, because it's too huge, man.
Yeah. So I love the states because this
area.
The whole idea of the United States of different cultures in the same country. It was the best thing in the States. So that's why I love the United States.
The United States, like the country that you love? For example, personally for me, I love nature, so I love Switzerland.
Okay.
Switzerland.
But specifically, I like New York, New York City, New York, and I liked New York Buffalo. The Buffalo City, I have visited the Niagara Falls. It was very, very huge and it was very, very cool.
Good.
Yeah, I had good memories there too.
Let's talk about you personally, okay? What are the skills that you have and that you are very proud of, that you own, which made you open a lot of doors?
Good communication skills, I think.
Communication skills.
Yeah, I do have this skill, so I'm happy with this skill.
Yeah.
I can make a very good friendship with 2 minutes or something.
That's good.
So that's why I think that I have to keep this.
So the communication skills will lead you to a lot of doors?
Will lead you to different things. You will get you will have communication with the people who are working with different NGOs, different government institutions, everything.
Good.
And also, if you have a good communication skills when you travel to other countries, so you can make friendship with the people that there you can see there, you can meet them there.
What about the language?
I can speak in English, so I think I have no problem when I travel, and I do
global language. That's why you speak in English.
Yeah. So.
Good. So you should, for example, you Ahmed Alsaleh, about the English language. Okay. how important is the English language so that the people and the citizens of Kirkuk especially know this? I have already mentioned it a lot in my page, but even though I want your aspect.
I graduated from English department.
Mm-hmm.
I had masters in translation English.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure 100% that English is a very global language and you need it everywhere. Even now, if you travel to UAE, if you travel to Qatar, you will have to use the English language because there is a lot of residents, people who are from the people like from India, from Bangladesh. They only speak in English. So I think all the people of Kirkuk have to learn English.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you are the best teacher to teach them
Thank
English.
you, man. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I mean, I try also to give a vision for the Kirkukis especially, even like everyone who's like seeing this podcast, that English should be in the first area, and then like any other things should come. Because I have mentioned it even like very much, that people should really, like the doors will get closed when you don't know the English language, you know? And this needs hard work. Okay, now what is for you a hard work? I take it like this, and then you expect, okay, I'm not getting any question, but I ask you, what is hard work for you?
Well, I will go with something that I have read before. You never know how strong you are until being strong is the only choice you have.
Wow.
So being strong is the hard work for me. You will face a lot of problems in your journey about studying, job, everywhere. Like every single moment that you can face in your life, there is a challenge, so you have to be strong. So hard working for me is being strong.
Being strong. And how can someone be strong?
Well, I think you have a good mindset, you plan well, very, very well planned. Plan. And you have to know the problem, where's the issue. And then you make another plan to fix the problem.
Wow. Plan, finding the issues, and plan for fixing the issues?
Yeah.
That's a nice one. This is like what I want for people to understand. Because as I said, like it is true totally in English. Like this is like what makes Kirkuk Talk special, like conducted entirely in English. And we force even the audiences who don't know perfect English to understand us. This is what I focus on. Good, so let's go back to your journey, okay, in the UN. So you started working with them as an interpreter. Good, you were in the NYC, and is there like any kind of difference working in the NYC, like abroad, while working with the UN here? I mean, is there differences?
Of course, you have differences between working with the UN headquarters office and the UN mission in Iraq, because when you work on the issues that the UN headquarters office working on, it means a global issues. But when you go to the UN office in Iraq, so you will go and you will face only the problems that you have faced in Iraq. So it's local problems and global problems. This is the difference between them.
So yeah, the problems in general, for example. Yeah. Are the problems locally bigger than the globals?
It depends.
I mean, Iraq.
Well, now in Iraq we are facing the problem of the climate change, and we do have some problems about social cohesion. So I think now in Iraq, like stepping forward to fix these issues, and we do have a good vision about these problems, and we do have a very well planned plan. So I think no, in Iraq we do have the idea of fixing the problems, but the global issues it's more complicated.
So the problems before are bigger than the problems now, right?
Which one you mean?
In Iraq, the problems, the local problems before?
Of course. Now, like now in Iraq, we are in the phase of development, the country.
So there are developments?
Yeah, of course. Of course, yeah. I can see that.
Good. So what can citizens do for this? How can you, for example, motivate citizens who are not with the UN, but they are citizens and they can do something for this country?
Volunteering. Yeah.
For who?
I have seen your video talking about volunteering, and I totally agree with you.
Which is?
When you talked about, like, you said when you go and volunteer, you cannot buy these things. The experience that you had, the skills that you learned. So I totally agree with you. I used to stay in the States for 2 months there. I have seen the people there. They are serving their community with nothing, for free. But why? To have the skills, to have the experience.
To gain the experience.
To love their community. When you serve your community, you will care about it.
So volunteering is like what?
It's the key for the successes of the communities.
So people should take
volunteer to get the experience.
Good.
To love their society.
But right now here in volunteering is like for free, right?
Of course.
And it is like you working for something to gain an experience. But people don't know where the right volunteering is. They have, for example, worked with an organization, volunteered there, and they didn't gain anything because it was like useless. And how can people know that this is like very beneficial and I should continue working or volunteering with them, and this is not? So how can they find the right volunteering?
Well, I think when you start volunteer, you will start. Of course, you will start with volunteering with the volunteer teams. Then you get when you go to the second phase about working with local NGOs. Then you should have a plan to work. Now I should work with the international NGOs. And also, always when you want to volunteer, ask about the volunteer teams and the local NGOs that you are working on, and if they are a real volunteer teams and real NGOs who are working on the problems of this society.
Okay, so where do you see Iraq in the next few years?
Well, with the young leader that we do have now, I think we will be in a better situation. And inshallah, we will have more successes by the hand of these young leaders.
So it is developing? Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So it is developing?
Of course.
Forward, right?
Yeah, of course, because we do have young leaders that they are working on some great success stories and good achievements for the society. So there's a development, and we will see Iraq in a better situation after 5 years.
Yeah, there's like one thing I want to say. Even a leader can learn from mistakes and can gain other informations. What is your motivation, or even like a detailed thing that you want to say, or a motivation for being a good leader? How can someone be a good leader?
Well, we will go about. I have read the quotation. It's about leader and how the leaders goes about these things. Always grateful, never satisfied. When you will be a leader, you will have no limits for success. Sometimes when I achieve something, like you know, I do have some friends like they are calling me and texting me like, "Good for you, happy for you."
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Yeah, and I always talk to myself, "What's next?" So I think the leaders have no limits for their successes.
So they shouldn't be satisfied?
They should be satisfied for like one day, to be happy for this success, and then to plan what's next.
Won't be grateful then?
No, they will. Be grateful, but
not satisfied. That's good. Good. So now, what about you? I mean, where do you see yourself in the next few years? Let's say 5 years.
Okay. Let's say I think I will be in the UN, but in different
Field?
title or different field, maybe. Yeah.
So you continue, you love what you do?
Of course, I
Yeah.
do love. It's my dream job.
And it came true.
It came true. Yeah.
So any dream can come true?
Of course,
But
just work on it.
Yeah,
Of course.
like hard working is like
Yeah.
dedication also.
Yeah.
Good. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. And this was Ahmed Salah, a friend of mine, but also someone who I'm very inspired from him, I'll be honest. And yes, of course, I will end this episode too by saying bye-bye and giving my guest a minute to talk. So bye-bye from me, and go ahead.
Well, my message for you is to stick with your dreams, work on them, work hard, and you will achieve them. I applied for the UN to work with them 30 times, but in the 31 I got accepted. So I always recommend you to stick with your dreams and let your dreams fly high. Thank you so much for having me, Anas, and have a very, very good night. Bye-bye.